It began, as many things do, with a morning, but this morning didn't feel right. The birds were not singing, the sky was too bright, and the air had pressed down, heavy and hot. People stepped outside, shielding their eyes from a sunrise that felt more like a spotlight, and then they looked up. The sun had changed. It was not just larger, it was enormous, glowing with a brilliance that seemed unnatural. Within hours, headlines flashed across the globe. Scientists confirmed the unthinkable. The sun had somehow doubled in size. What followed was confusion, panic, disbelief. But behind the panic was a silent truth: life on Earth had just been pushed to the brink. Before all of this, the sun had been our quiet caretaker. It sat 93 million miles away, perfectly placed to give us warmth, light, and stability. It was massive, over 100 times the diameter of Earth, and responsible for every breeze, every bloom, every heartbeat on the planet. Through nuclear fusion, it converted hydrogen into helium, releasing a staggering amount of energy, and it had been doing this for billions of years. That energy took thousands of years to journey from the sun's core to its surface, and just 8 minutes more to touch your skin. The balance was perfect, delicate, precise, until the day it was not. Now, with the sun doubled in mass, it burned brighter, fiercer. Fusion in its core accelerated, gobbling hydrogen like a starving beast. The increased radiation bathed Earth in more light and heat than it was ever meant to handle. It was beautiful, and it was deadly. Within a matter of days, the Earth began to break. The temperature soared beyond anything recorded in human history. Polar ice melted rapidly, unleashing torrents of fresh water into the oceans. Coastal cities vanished under rising tides. Farmland withered under the searing light. Crops failed. Animals collapsed. Power grids struggled as billions reached for cooling systems, and then one by one they failed. Scientists spoke in grim tones. Earth was no longer in the habitable zone. The Goldilocks zone, that narrow ring of space where conditions are just right for life, had moved far beyond Earth's orbit. Now, we were too close, too hot. But the real horror came when calculations revealed something worse. Earth's orbit itself was becoming unstable. The sun's increased gravity pulled harder. Our speed around it, once in perfect harmony with its pull, was now insufficient. Earth was drifting closer to the sun. It was not going to happen in a day, or even a year, but the course was set. We were on a slow spiral toward obliteration. The surface of the planet quickly became unlivable. Forests turned to ash, lakes dried up, rain stopped. The clouds, once fluffy and white, thickened into dark, suffocating smears. The air shimmered with heat waves. And so, humanity went underground. Old mine shafts became sanctuaries. Governments raced to dig deeper, creating massive subterranean cities with temperature controls, recycled water systems, and artificial agriculture. Hydroponic labs tried to grow food using LED lights, though yields were meager. Every drop of water was rationed, every plant a treasure. Outside, the sun no longer warmed, it punished. Its flares, once rare and majestic, became daily threats. Supercharged bursts of radiation scrambled communications, knocked out satellites, and scorched the ionosphere. Navigation systems failed. Internet cables fried. The digital age crumbled into silence. Those few who ventured to the surface wore heat suits and visor helmets. They walked through husks of cities, places that once buzzed with life now frozen in time. Roads melted. Cars sat abandoned. Billboards faded under relentless UV rays. And yet, people still looked up. They stared at the sun, now a dominating presence in the sky, twice as wide and infinitely more dangerous. They wondered, could we go somewhere else? Could we escape? Attention turned to Mars. Once too cold, too dry, too distant, now it sat squarely in the new habitable zone. Temperatures on Mars began to rise. Subsurface ice melted. Rovers transmitted data showing possible liquid water in craters. Colonization efforts accelerated. Massive rockets launched from Earth's dark side, carrying brave crews and heavy cargo. They called it humanity's second chance. On Ceres, deep within the asteroid belt, robotic missions found conditions shifting, temperature rising, potential for life-sustaining environments growing. And farther still, the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, Europa, Ganymede, Titan began to stir under the sun's extended influence. But moving out was not simple. With twice the mass, the sun's gravitational pull reached farther and tugged harder. Orbits of planets and moons began to shift. Neptune wobbled. Pluto veered. The outer solar system became unpredictable, its clockwork disrupted. Even the asteroid belt became a shooting gallery of unstable debris. Meanwhile, deep below the Earth's surface, stories kept humanity alive. Elders spoke of rain, of snow, of the smell of the ocean breeze. They described trees that danced in the wind, animals that sang at dawn, skies so blue they seemed painted. Their children, born in metal bunkers and concrete shelters, had never seen such things, but they listened with wide eyes. One day, they were told, life might bloom again elsewhere. Then came a sign. On Mars, inside a climate-controlled dome, something green appeared. A plant. A tiny, engineered sprout. The first true Martian leaf. It bent toward the filtered sunlight above, alive. The underground roared with celebration. That sprout meant possibility. It meant adaptation. It meant survival. Terraforming efforts accelerated. Machines released gases to thicken Mars's atmosphere. Ice was melted. Soil enriched. What had been a dream became a goal. A new Earth among the stars. Even on Europa, signs of alien microbial life were suspected beneath its warming ice crust, where ancient oceans stirred. Probes drilled deeper. Data streamed back. The universe was not finished with life. But Earth continued its slow fall. Every year, a little closer. Scientists watched from underground observatories as the sun's surface pulsed and writhed. With its increased size came instability. A star that large would not last long. It would burn faster, die younger. The sun was now racing toward its end. It had already shaved billions of years off its original lifespan. In time, it would swell further into a red giant, consuming everything in its reach. Mercury, Venus, Earth. The countdown had begun. And yet, in humanity's final chapters on this planet, there was peace. People painted murals on bunker walls of forests, of sunsets of stars. Children played in simulated parks, their laughter echoing through metal corridors. The air was recycled, the light artificial, but life somehow persisted. People knew they wouldn't see the end of this story, but their descendants might. On Mars, on Europa, somewhere. Looking back, the sun's doubling was not just a catastrophe, it was a turning point. It forced humankind to adapt, to grow, to look up again with wonder. It reminded us how fragile our existence is, how perfectly tuned the universe had been, and how quickly it could change. Our sun, as massive as it became, was still just one star among billions. And our planet, as special as it was, would not be the last cradle for life. We would endure. We would evolve. We would remember the Earth not as a lost world, but as our first. And as the last ships rose from the glowing horizon, climbing past the thick clouds and into the vast silence of space, they carried more than people. If that journey through a world scorched by a growing sun made you think twice about how delicate our place in the universe really is, you are not alone. The cosmos is full of wild possibilities, and we are just getting started. So if you enjoyed exploring this mind-bending scenario, smash that like and don't forget to subscribe to stay on this journey through space, time, and imagination. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment when science and storytelling collide. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.